Hey everyone, tips on the old KVM. Sadly, this setup doesn't have one yet. So it's an upgrade in terms of just installing a new one. By the way, I mean this. To be honest, we'll see if it will even fit. So I even had this old NVMe to PCIe adapter just plugged in because why not? It would get lost otherwise. This setup isn't very convenient, but still. Okay, so this KVM is like a special version because I really wanted something that's PCIe. So this is how it looks like. And there is like lots and lots of cables with it. So we'll see. Sadly, this is a full-sized bracket, and I think that I've seen that they've also included smaller one. Some HDMI, some USB to USB-C, additional cables to plug into motherboard so you can actually restart the damn thing, and yes, a smaller bracket, which is exactly what we looked for. And another USB to USB-C. Okay, but to be honest, I have forgotten in some sort of pad, maybe insulating thingy, I don't know. But I have forgotten one little thing, a screwdriver, so give me a second. It seems I have misplaced my screwdriver. My screwdriver set. You know, I really should have checked everything before I started the stream. Oh boy, obviously I have left it in the basement. But here it is now. So what sort of screws do we even have here? Some small Phillips ones. Surprising how expensive KVMs can be. Especially if you want something that actually fits in, I don't know, 8 ports. Like, those things do not come down in price, like KVMs and console servers. I mean, they are expensive from the, I want to say, private point of view. They aren't as expensive if you were to buy them as a company, but still. Shit, okay, I have every screw. This desk is not meant to be a perfect streaming setup, but it will do. Interesting, I wonder what this is. Like some sort of small display? Interesting. It's actually, my monitor is so big it gets in the way of the camera. Sadly, I don't really want to move everything as much, especially considering that this operation shouldn't take too long, and after that maybe I'll finally play some games on Linux. And I do have 2 game candidates to play today. The Altars from GOG or World of Warcraft from Battle.net, just because Battle.net is incredibly, I want to say difficult, but also infuriating to set up on Linux. And Altars, well, I finished it yesterday and it's a hell of a good game. Oh, I didn't even notice. I think this KVM... Oh yeah, obviously. I wanted to say that it came in with a free SD card. But that has to be an SD card with a software installed. Like the firmware. Okay, it's been some time since I've last installed anything in here. If I remember correctly, this KVM only has this PCIe pin to just pull the power, because I really wanted something that's powered from within the server and not that it has like extra power supply. I'm not even 100% sure that I have like PoE version, but it also, even though it has like PCI Express, it can also be powered via USB-C, because it has power in as described. So fun fact, I bought this KVM because I used to have some troubles with, oh my, the autofocus is killing me. Because I've had some problems with this server. Why is it so hard to push in? Anyway, I bought this because I've had problems with the server where I basically had to restart it and I was losing all of the network connectivity. And by the time I got this, I've managed to solve it, hence the NIC upgrade also. To be honest, I may have jumped the gun a bit with pushing this in. Some J. Keefe. Hello, hello. I may have jumped the gun a bit because I actually still need to connect those. And to be 100% honest, I am not fully familiarized with this motherboard layout. Because as you can probably guess by the number of serial connections, this home server has actually in the past been a POS terminal, like, I don't know, whatever, cash register or something like that server. So it's not like, you know, 100% ATX, whatever. Like, this is a good idea. Where does this motherboard have the power on buttons? At least it's easy to disassemble. I should probably give it some compressed air, and I even have some. So this is a drive bay. Okay, and shit. Obviously the power on button and stuff had to go into the most cramped place in the motherboard. So I will try to unplug as much adjacent stuff as possible. Oh, that's cool. I can take off the front for cleaning. Nice. I actually have never tried that before. Maybe I'll be able to put some sort of filter mesh. That's not now. I don't have such mesh on hand. By the way, this is how it's looking inside. As you can see, I have installed my custom RAM sticks. So I think right now I have here 16 gigabytes of RAM DDR4. Hooray! It came out, but it's unmarked, almost as a grave. So even though I have this pass-through, which is, you know, neatly described, I'm not sure, you know, HDD LED, power on, and stuff like that, I need to look up the layout of this thing. Because if I remember correctly, at least this is a standard. So, okay, so, it's never as easy as it would seem to be, right? Because it seems that, oh, okay, so I think this is the diagram. Oh yeah, the camera lenses have some finicky settings, but still, because we have like 12 pins, not 8. Okay, we'll try to follow that. In the worst case scenario, this $20 Homelab server will burn. Because here we have oh, okay. Power switch, reset switch, hard drive. I think I also have like a speaker plugged in the front. But no, it's not going from that strip. So what the hell is... Oh, I think I see. Shit, even that's not it. It's not 12, it's 14? 4, 5. So, once again, 4, 8, 12. Yeah, it's 14. So it's even something different. Yeah, I knew as soon as I would write 14 pins, it will try to suggest me with SATA ATX connector, with the ATX power pin out, but that's not it. So this is HP, but to be exact, what was the model of this? This is HP Engage Flex Pro C. I am highly doubtful that I will acquire a motherboard diagram for it, to be honest. To be honest, I have not expected it to be that highly customizable. Like, to be that highly different, not necessarily customizable. I could not do this at the moment, and I could just do the KVM basically just to have like a return connection for the video and the USB. But maybe I have found a manual. Maybe it will have that described, because it seems to be pretty in-depth manual. Yes, the BIOS battery, disassembly, memory sticks, cooler. Oh, the whole... You know, I wish I could show you more, but honestly, I haven't really thought that this will be this custom. But this manual is pretty interesting. Like, as always, I thought this will be a super duper easy thing. But it turns out that it's not. So I might just come back to that later, because this will be incredibly boring if I'll just be Googling stuff on my phone. And for now, you know, push comes to shove, I can just take multimeter and trace all of that stuff by hand. Okay, back in you go. I need some extra light. Okay. Okay, this is pushed back. So, but still, that was the KVM, and we will still probably need to fire everything up and see how it works. But I also have a networking card. This is 2.5 gigabit. But the company is, this is the first time I've heard of it. Like like Kudi, Tsudi, whatever. Hall 127, hello. Hi. So I'm actually quite curious as to whether this will, for one, actually achieve 2.5 gigabit, and two, whether it will actually work, because as I said in the beginning, and I also need to exchange the bracket for a shorter one, this server was giving me some problems. Mainly I was losing network connectivity to it, and later I found out that it's not random and there is like a lot of DMESC messages regarding the networking card, the inbuilt one. There seems to be some problems with the Linux driver for it. So before I actually fixed that, I was like, just okay, whatever, I'm going to order the KVM first and the networking card next. But after I've done that, I've actually found a solution to my problem, which basically was just disabling some network card options with ifconfig, like some TCP offloading or whatever. And ever since that, it worked like a charm. But I have ordered these parts, and it would be a shame not to put them in. Do I even have 2.5 gigabit capable switch at least? No. The switch I have has 10 gigabit SFP capability, sadly. But just to be future proof, and since this was like, I don't know, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever, I was like, why the hell not, right? Okay. Also, the server is simply running Proxmox, so it's a pretty much standard Debian with a more recent kernel, 6 point something, if I remember correctly. Okay. So I can do a small cleanup, and by cleanup I mean just tossing everything to the side. So what are you going to run in it? I've used to run like Pi-hole as a base thing, but I've since, like I said, had some problems, so I've switched Pi-hole to actual Pi0, and that's the only thing that this is running, like a Pi-hole with DHCP. But other than that, I'm running like Home Assistant, Jellyfin server, homepage, and some other stuff that I just want to have running 24/7, like a VPN client, VPN endpoint to my home network, some stuff like that. Ideally, I think I also used to run my web page like bdrogo.xyz, but first of all, it's down because this is pulled out. And secondly, I think I need to reconfigure my router again to allow the traffic back to that. Okay, so... Oh. Oh, it seems like I've made an oopsie. Because the KVM has HDMI, but here and here I have DisplayPort. And I don't think, because in the set they've had like this short HDMI cable for the KVM, so you could basically do a loop back. But I have to be honest, quite forgotten that this little mini server is custom enough to not even have an HDMI port, just display ports, which all in all is actually okay. The problem is that I have not checked in it beforehand, and I don't necessarily have the cable at the moment. But still, it's installed. Oh yeah, the compressed error. Oh shit, it spilled a little. And now I also need to air out my room. Zero zero seven and 7. Hey, oh, hey. To be honest, I'm also kind of started the stream a bit late, so I am starting to lose natural light. MSN TV should be revived. It's already revived thanks to the community. I don't even know what is MSN TV. Oh yeah, forgotten to install the front plate. Done. So now we can try and fire this thing up. So I have pretty high hopes that this will just run. So you can't see it, but I do have like a rack in here. But just because I'm a nasty tinkerer, for now I will just place it on the floor and connect some Ethernet cables to it. So MSN TV was like a Windows PC but hooked up to a TV. It used to be called Web TV, but it was rebranded to MSN TV when it was acquired by Microsoft. Interesting. So was it running on like an ARM or x86, and was it like .NET based? Because Microsoft had some really good ideas back in the day, like Windows Phone, for example, stuff like that, and Android like muddled so many things up. Oh, I'm not sure if you can catch that, but here, yes, on this KVM that was an like a small display, and it says ETH, so basically probably since it's not connected, it doesn't have any IP. HDMI, resolution 0 FPS. So this is like a small diagnostic screen. That's quite cool. I don't know, it was basically running on top of Windows, Windows CE. So probably x86, yeah. Okay, so I've plugged one Ethernet cable into the KVM. I'll plug another one back as it was into the main ETH interface. Okay. Let me cover my windows and light some bigger lights. Probably should have done that from the start. Thanks to the community, we do have an emulator that emulates MSN TV. We can also use the win later. I mean, it sounds like a fun project. Okay, this goes to the side. All of this goes to the side. But really, I'm surprised. I have never ever before heard of that project. I might try it out on my PC that runs XP. Why would you run XP in 2025? Are you like a system administrator that has to run some legacy apps like JVM or Java? Now, how to do it the best? Yeah, let me do my thing. So let me try to boot into my Linux box. My main laptop that came with Vista, but I upgraded it to 10. That sounds like some really legacy hardware at this point. Okay, I will also need to fix my camera also. Let's let the Arch Linux boot. And I will try to fix this. Almost acceptable. Hooray. Oh yeah, I also need to fire up my helper display. Have you heard about Escargot? That sounds like a manga or something from an anime. Hooray. MSN. You seem to be weirdly highly informed about all Microsoft projects that are being revived. It's an MSN Messenger revival. The question is why? I would say that there have been so many shitty messengers in the past that we've had to crawl through basically. Has the chat broke? Because that was pretty hilarious what I just saw, but it doesn't seem to be updating on the stream. Yeah, it updates. Nothing beats men. That's crazy. Yep. Hi, Victor. Nothing beats MSN Messenger. To be honest, I don't think MSN Messenger was popular at all in Poland. We've had our own messenger that was highly popular during that period, which was called Gadu Gadu. And uh, and that was those were the days for us in Poland. I meant to say MSN, not men. Yeah, sure. Of course, of course. By the way, typical Arch user day starts with obviously this. So let's let it install really quickly before we check to the server. This generation is cooked, dude. With those temperatures outside, I've been cooked every day. Okay, so my home server should be available under this address, and it seems like it is, which is a good sign. So as you can see, nothing fancy. Like Pi-hole that's been pretty much taken out from the server. Home Assistant, some web server, database, which I think is running Prometheus, some torrent box, Jellyfin, and homepage at the moment. But what's more interesting, what software are you using on your server? Yeah, mainly this. Because this is like a small server, so you know it has. I've added some my RAM sticks from my old PC, so it has that actual 16 gigabits. I could add more, but the processor is only dual channel. But for now I'm running Proxmox, but I have been debating running some more container-like setup. I've actually used to run more container-like setup, like more Docker-oriented, but it turns out implementing properly some services on Docker, like some services that require proper layer 2 connectivity to the network, are a really pain in the ass. So I switched to something I know from work, which is basically Proxmox. But to be honest, whenever I want to host some shit applications like homepage, which are like really, really tiny and they don't necessarily require full VM, that kind of gets irritating. So I'm mostly using it for Jellyfin, but I do also had to take some steps in order to not transcode anything, because this server is useless for transcoding. Like, it has like Intel Pentium Gold G5 5400 CPU, which sounds fun, but it's useless for actual HD transcoding. And also I have like this is also my entry point for my VPN network. I'm not 100% sure which VM was that, but one of them is. Oh yes, USB mapping invalid. So this is like also for, because I also have like a Zigbee devices in my home, on my network. So maybe let me plug it in. And we'll see how that goes. Has the Linux been upgraded? Yes, and it seems like we have a new kernel, so let's restart everything. Will this start now? Yes, it. Why warnings? No EF disk configured using temporary EF disk. So is this running like an UEFI? I don't necessarily remember everything. I'm uploading my current home server specs onto GitHub. I'll send it in a sec. Sure. Like, to be honest, I would really like something else as my home server, but it's kinda expensive. Lenovo Think Server SR. 160. I don't remember the exact name and spec. Oh shit, continue from Belarus. Is Lenovo even having business in Belarus? What the fuck? I'm trying to find this server. I may have it saved on my other, like on my Windows instance. But it's like a really nice tiny server, which is pulling really like low amounts of power, like I don't know, 20 watts maybe, but it's like a full-fledged enterprise server with inbuilt KVM management, you know, all that proper stuff with some proper CPU also. And it's completely silent, like fanless if it's idling. But that's not it, I think, because the one I have had in mind had like 4 3.5 HDD base. And this one doesn't have at all. But what I mean by expensive, it costs like, I don't know, it costs like, I don't know, $2,000, because it's kind of recent and there aren't many refurbished units yet. Okay, it seems like this has been done, but I will reboot it anyway. Oh, maybe before I reboot, I think I've upgraded it like the day before yesterday, but I can check it again. Yep, no upgrades. I want to reboot it because I've inserted the USB thing that's mapped. And I also want to reboot this, this big PC. Because in case you are new here and you don't know that home server is one thing, but the thing you were just seeing here is my big boy home desktop PC with GeForce 5070 Ti and some proper AMD CPU and stuff like that. I will show you the specs in a second. I sadly need to do this little finicky thingy. I can send the link, oh my god. You can join the Discord, but also you can just paste like, you know, quick specs. I can just Google if it's like some custom server. Yeah, sadly, I need to do this small magical thing every time the, I think, screen resolution changes. Okay, and we are back. So, one more thing. One little magic command to make combined audio output so we can all hear everything. Combined. Let's do a quick test. What's the Discord? That is a very good question. Let me quickly copy and paste the link in the chat. I always forget to prepare it beforehand in the stream description. I'm almost there. Okay. But this you were able to hear, right? By the way, if you are young and you haven't seen this, I highly recommend the Men in Black, the series, the cartoon from '97. Like, it has one of the coolest opening sequences ever. And I'm telling you this, a guy who has watched lots and lots of anime. And this is like a high praise, right? That American cartoon has a really cool intro sequence. Okay. So now I will SSH to the server that I was upgrading. SSH command not found. What's the package name for SSH command in Arch? Like, seriously? I haven't even ever used that. OpenSSH, okay, because on Debian it's like OpenSSH client or server, if I remember correctly. Sent it. Oh, it seems like you have some proper. It seems like you have some proper home server with an i5. I'm not really well versed, and I can't really remember all of the CPUs from the top of my head. But let's look it up. i5 3470 on Intel Arc. So that's a CPU from 2012. Obviously, DDR3. That may be a bit hurting. 2 memory channels, so no point in putting in more than 2 RAM sticks. Some Intel graphics, PCIe 3.0. Obviously some funny cosmic name for the socket, because why the hell not? Turbo boost, hyperthreading, no hyperthreading, interesting. AVX, SSA. I mean, it seems like a... Oh, yeah, the most important question that I actually omitted. 77 watts. So you're probably pulling like, I don't know, 20, 30 watts in idle, I want to say. So that can be quite, you know, quite a pull. But I'm broke right now. I'm thinking about upgrading it to 32 gig and installing a Xeon. To be honest, I mean, it, you know, being broke depends from person to person. What do they mean by that? But if you go to, because I assume you're Polish. I'm assuming you are Polish. If you go to YouTube and if you go to this channel, you'll see many reviews of some mini PCs, right? And if you go to, let's say, Allegro, ja też jestem z Polski, więc wiem, nie? But let's keep it in English. But if you go to Allegro and, for example, I think this is the one I have. Okay, shit. Those are some cosmic prices, to be honest, I'm seeing right now. But those are probably some... Yep, i5 8th gen. So those are... Why are those so expensive? Quick change of plan. Dell Wise 5770. So those seem to be going for 230 zloty, which is, I don't know, for other members of the audience, $60 around. And what do they have? So first of all, DDR4. Second of all, I think you can pretty much see that they are full passively cooled, small form factor, like a hand for size comparison. Let me just take out this so I can show you better. 4 USB 3.0, 2 display ports, 1 Ethernet port, and I think 1 serial port. Yep, that's a serial with an external power supply, right? But to be honest, like, but how much? Okay, so it only has like 4 gigabytes DDR4, so you'd probably have to invest in memory. You know, it also depends what do you want to do with it. But I would say go to this channel, watch this guy's videos. I mean, sadly it's in Polish, so any other people in the audience, you might not get anything out from it, but just to compare, like this is like Core i5. Let's compare this with what I have in that HP server. We have here like Gold G with a capital G. Oh boy, it's on Discord. It's like a home lab posting competition, which I don't mind. I don't really want to, install Discord here and share it, but we can check it. I don't really want to say raid viewers home lab servers, but that would be a catchy title. Okay, yeah, so basically what I have here is like 6 years newer, so there's pretty much no competition. But yeah, even if it's like 6 years newer, it's not really good for anything media related in terms of transcoding and stuff. But okay. So this was posted by... That's a nick that starts with H, and I don't really see that because Discord is now running in streamer mode. And I can't see the full nickname, but anyway, i54570 with 16 gigs of RAM. $84 watts. Oh, it's also like 2013, so it's like more than a decade. Yeah, DDR3. Yeah, so it's pretty old at this point. I mean, you can buy like I want to say like a server for home lab. It's me. Yeah, like I thought that like there aren't many people in here that have nicks starting with H, but I didn't want to make any false assumptions. So you can buy a pretty like performance server, but it will be comically power inefficient. I mean, like I am not necessarily familiar with eBay, so let's continue with Allegro, which is our Polish Amazon. 100% better than Amazon, to be honest, also, which is why Amazon can't necessarily find a good grip in Poland. Like, fuck you, Amazon. So I am like basically searching for aftermarket server, and let's give it like 2 units of height. This is like 240 bucks. And as you can see, how old is this CPU? It's also 2012, but it's like 135 watts. But it is like a full-size server. Yeah, but it's okay because I can maintain the Jellyfin very well and transcode without almost any interruption. So the life hack I found for Jellyfin is like just installing the desktop app. I'm not really necessarily watching anything on my phone, but on my laptops, I'm basically installing the desktop app, and the desktop app does not transcode of this on the server. Like it basically uses any codecs you have on the system, which means that it doesn't necessarily has to transcode anything. It's just streaming the raw, I don't know, MP4, MKV or whatever, which significantly lowers the load on the server and pushes it to a client, which pretty much, if it's recent, then just supports everything out from the box. My home lab is actually an Optiplex 9010, but I have a second one that I need a motherboard for it. I got it from my math teacher, and the motherboard has the BIOS corrupted. I feel you. Like, if it's like an old hardware, then recovering the BIOS is a pain in the ass. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 13, 14, and I've tried to upgrade my BIOS, and that was back in the day where you had to use like a specialized floppy disk and use a specialized sequence of commands to update BIOS, and I've pretty much destroyed the BIOS. So for that summer vacations, I didn't have PC available, which was for me a big punch in the nuts. And it's at my grandma's. Yeah, I also have like I've used to have one server at my dad's place, but it was a bit too, I don't know, faulty. It gave me some problems. Why I cannot SSH to it? Do I have like a remote login disabled? That might be it. Permit root login. Jesus. Yes. Yes, please. Hooray. Okay, so basically htop IPA. So it seems that our additional network interface is working. This is my VPN. Some VM bridges for the VMs. Some interesting choice of apps. Hello, did you have a spine leaf fabric logo on t-shirt? So this is one of the coolest shirts I've managed to grab from the supercomputing conference. And this is basically DGX A100 like a topology for GPU accelerators. I think I've grabbed it like, I don't know, 3 years back. And you know, it's starting to wear, but it's not necessarily you know, to be honest, I have never properly analyzed it. But now that you've asked me that question, yeah, it does seem to be leaf spine. Thank you. Like ever since I've started attending, you know, science and, you know, whatever conferences, they have been clothing me for the past 5 years. Like now I buy t-shirts so rarely. I've actually, so okay, this one is cool, but I have one t-shirt from Microsoft, which I discovered was super cool because it had like this, I want to say Rubik's Cube. It's like a black t-shirt with white Rubik's Cube. And then I've had like an outage, like power outage. And I actually was having that t-shirt on, and I've noticed that it's glowing in the dark, which was the coolest thing ever. Okay, so we have this one installed, but the question is, can I log on to the KVM? It should be having an IP address assigned from the DHCP, and that should be visible in my Pi-hole. This is so stupid about Pi-hole. Like, obviously, I want to go to the admin dashboard. Why are you giving me 403? Pum pum pum. Currently active. Like, it should be the one with the longest expiration date, right? No, no. Yes. Okay. Username and password. That is a damn good question. What are the defaults? This is a manual, not for this one. Yep. So we did not install the light version. We installed... admin. Like, please don't try to be smarter than me. I really like my default password, especially in my completely secluded network. Okay, like I said, sadly, there isn't much connected right now. Check for updates, always. An update is available. Are you sure you want to upgrade right now? Actually, I am also interested in changelog. What's that KVM? It's pum. It's not cube. It's this. Why is everything so bright? So I have actually, yeah, because I think that they originally are shipping from AliExpress. So this is where I bought it from. And there are different versions because there are with, as you can see, PoE, Wi-Fi, PCIe, PoE, PCIe, Wi-Fi, yada, so on. So I think I have this PCIe kit without Wi-Fi and without PoE because I don't need that. And like I said, I think originally it is available from AliExpress. I'm not sure you can find it anywhere else. But, you know, basically the idea is you put it in, you plug in the HDMI, the USB. There are also those if you want to have a pass-through to your motherboard, which means you can reboot it remotely even if the system hangs. Sadly, I wasn't able to do this like today to connect it because that HP server has some cosmic layout of those things. Like I have like 14 pins instead of 8 or 12. But basically, yeah. Like if you just Google nano KVM, then you should get that. Okay, let's have it upgrade, and meanwhile, so this is our version, and ever since that, oh, interesting, HTTPS support, direct H264 streaming, localization, and AZERTY virtual keyboard, add support for enabling disabling HDMI output. Add support for custom mouse wheel speed, prevent direct stream buffer overflow and replay issues, improve keyboard paste performance, resolve parameter injection in serial port terminal, support server-side disable menu, added PTBR translation. HP server without ILO. It's not necessarily a server. It was like an old cash register terminal or something like that. As you can see, like this basically says, I mean, if you're Polish, you know, but system of retail sales, HP Engage Flex Pro C. And I absolutely hated that Reddit is auto-translating everything to Polish for God knows why, what reason, even if I'm not logged in. All of those pictures are so shitty. Like, oh yeah. So as you can see, a hell of a serial ports and connectors. Like, I think this is mine. Yep, and oh yeah, and I even bought it from like this site for 150 zloty. Yeah, point of sale terminal, exactly. Yep. By the way, you can because those are basically pluggable cards. I mean those 12-volt USB ports. You can remove those, and this one also, and then the power usage drops by like 10 or 15 watts. Like those draw significant amounts of power even if they are not plugged into anything. So pro tip, if you end up buying this thing, get rid of those if you are not using them. Like other main pros of this server are that it supports full-sized 2.5 drives, so you can basically put in two 2.5 SSDs. It supports full-size DDR4 memory sticks, so it's quite easy and cheap. And I'm not 100% sure, but you can, I think this is like SSD, so this might be mSATA, but I think this might be an NVMe. I'm not 100% sure. But you also have like PCIe slots, which is also nice. So it's a nice server that you can cheaply build it out and upgrade. Okay, it seems that this has upgraded meanwhile. It's nice seeing you guys going crazy on Discord. Yeah, actually, since I've posted the link in the chat, first of all, I will do that again. But secondly, I might finally update the description of the transmission, so it actually also has the Discord invite link. For newer version of terminals with USB-C, you can use DIY KVM with hub USB-C and docking station. I mean, this KVM has like an option of being just, you know, something like this, right? But I explicitly wanted something that's inside the case. It's not dangling, it's not hanging, and like the option to plug itself into motherboard to be able to reset the server, is also like I would say this is something that every KVM should be considered to have by default. And if you don't have that, then like most of those KVM projects like Jet KVM, I think, or something like that, are such bullshit. I really think that they are, you know, weird, I would say. But they get so much like push from some tech YouTubers that are so very, very enthusiastic about that. Oh, tail scale. So it has like an inbuilt tail scale integration. Weird. Like ideally, I would like to connect this with my netbird and not tail scale. HTTPS, SSH, enable MDNS, HDMI, virtual disk, virtual network, turn off OLED. I mean, I don't really want that. Mouse jiggler, prevent the remote host from sleeping. That's cool. So what other advanced settings do we have? Swap, yes, obviously disable, because that would kill the SD card. Okay, because I guess that reboot means save? I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, so we've also installed the network interface card, so virtual bridge is bridge to the physical interface, the old one, and this is our 2.5 gigabit. But sadly, it doesn't seem like I have a free USB cable to connect it with, so and I don't even have 2.5 gigabit capable switch, so I won't really check that speed for at the moment. I do have 2.5 gigabit interface in my desktop PC, like this one, but I would have to connect it point to point, lose internet connectivity, yada yada yada. Maybe not something for today. Okay, so it seems like this at least seems to be working. I finally installed it after like 2 or 3 months ever since I got the packages. Lima Rendezvous, Jurmala. I want a new DDR3 server so I can swap out my 386 gigabyte RAM to it and not have weird ass reboot issues. DDR3 in 2025. Why? Like, lots of RAM is one thing. Wrong account. Lion Productions. Hello, I'm back. One other interesting thing I'm doing, but that's for my home lab, is I am trying to build an integrated 12-volt power supply. It's free. Yeah, obviously that's one argument. I mean, at those sizes, those are probably ECC. So you need a specialized CPU, specialized motherboard, basically specialized everything. Like this is basically a DDR3 club here. I also have a server that I can show you actually. A server with DDR3. This baby right here. To the topic. I think this has like 4 CPUs Okay, where is like a good shot of this thing? But as you can see, this is AMD Opteron, so it's hell of an old. Oh yeah, and I have like 256 gigs of ECC memory in this server. And it has one serious drawback. Because the pro of this server is that it has, I don't know, 4x4. Sorry, 5x4, right? 20 base. But since it's so old, like AMD Opteron, DDR3s, etc., it doesn't have UEFI boot, which kinda sucks. The check Discord. So one advice when you are buying RAM, open your Intel Arc CPU page and basically try to buy RAM sticks that match your CPU specs. So first of all, memory channels. If your CPU has 2 memory channels and most of those have only 2 memory channels, you're actually losing performance if you install more than 2 RAM sticks. That's one thing. Second thing, oh my god, the frequency. So it's no point in there's no point in buying memory that has higher frequency than your CPU supports because it will clog down anyway. And with DDR3, you need to be extra careful and check what your current RAM sticks, what is their voltage. Because with DDR3 there was this weird like period where you could have like I'm not 100% sure, but like 1.2, 1 point something volts, and some other sticks were like 3 point something volts. I'm not 100% sure about the exact voltages, but there was this weird period where you basically had like low voltage and high voltage RAM sticks. So you need to make sure everything clicks in that regard. Well, and obviously ECC. Because if your CPU does not support ECC and you buy ECC memory, that might not work. That's DDR3 and DDR3 all. Yes, yes. Exactly. But like I said, like I was talking before, like this is also DDR3, 4 CPUs, the bulldozer architecture, 20 HDD base. Seems super cool, but the motherboard and the CPUs are so old that they don't detect NVMe drives as a bootable option. They can't do UEFI, which means that with some hardware, you are kind of limited. As you can see, there is like a SAS card, HBA card, in order to facilitate all of those backplane connections. But the card is also so old that it's difficult for it to be running properly, and by that I mean it does not pass through smart commands to the drives, right? But I'm still using this server to basically hoard some data because, like I said, 20 base. And also I have like a single node instance Ceph installed onto it, which means I can mix and match different drives. Like I can just put in, I don't know, one row of 2 terabyte drives, one row of 1 terabyte drives, and you know, stuff like that, and the Ceph will make it work. And I can just upgrade as I go, which is cool. Okay, so the server part is done. Okay, interesting. It even upgraded by itself. I'm not 100% sure how the Lutris ecosystem and Blizzard app works. Last time I tried this, I've had some pretty, I want to say, bad performance in WoW. Also, I will... Like, isn't this a bit too loud for you? I'm afraid it might be a bit too loud. So now we can play a bit of World of Warcraft, because I've had one viewer on Discord telling me that they had some problems and it was crashing. Okay, we can exit the NVIDIA Flex and now watch N1 NVIDIA SMI. Interesting. Oh, new season, new patch. I have completely slept through this expansion and previous one also, even though I have collector's editions, because I just liked WoW. Can't really find the will to play it, but I just like it. Is this game screen also like very dark for you, or is it just me? Because I really would like to increase the brightness. I am not seeing anything. Like almost no details.
Eyes open. Always be learning.
Okay, I am not interested. Oh. What is that? I mean, probably this is some like old content being refreshed. Oh yeah, the most important question. 150 FPS. That's interesting, because last time I fired it up, I was having like 60. Graphics. Okay, it's not necessarily full HD. Okay, now it is. Vertical sync disabled. Low latency mode. Okay, I don't think this will allow me to choose the NVIDIA whatever, and I don't have an Intel processor, so anti-aliasing. Let's give it some whatever. Oh. It doesn't allow me, it's not allowing me to choose anything. Okay, interesting. And the graphics quality. Is the ray tracing enabled? Disabled. Okay, for now, it's fine. 80 FPS is fine, I think. I mean, this is why I really want to tackle the benchmarking side of games on Linux. And, you know, not necessarily to prove that, I don't know, Linux is better than Windows or the opposite, but just be like, for me, when I first assembled this system, it was important to benchmark it in order to find out whether I have configured and installed everything correctly. Like, for me, that's the most important part in benchmarking, so I can compare it against other people with similar configurations, and then, you know, basically be sure that I haven't fucked anything up during my, like, build process.
Truth is out there. Keep your eyes on the horizon.
I'll go ahead and pack the supplies. See you down below.
You need something? For the Alliance. Jeez, why is my camera so high up? And now it's properly back down. Okay, let's go and do some story quests, because I feel like I am very, like, back on those. I should probably change the streaming either name or category, but that will be saved as VOD. So let's just give it, like, you know, a quick gaming session, maybe 20-30 minutes, and maybe tomorrow I will make a dedicated gaming stream.
Demencius, the all-devouring, is being revived by the Shadow Guard. I need your help.
Play movie. Let's play movie. I may have not seen that.
After so long, Master, it is time. The Harbinger's failure has opened the way. The vast power she placed within this dark heart will give you new life. So come, Lord Demencius. Come feast upon this universe. Let your darkness reign forevermore.
Soon.
We've all heard it, old friend. The voice of our greatest fear.
Demencius is rising, Venari. And should he assume his full power,
He will devour all that exists.
just as he did to our beloved homeworld, Karesh.
I think I've seen some add-on that makes you see the Zalata feet all the way, all the time on the top of your screen. It's hilarious.
Our fight continues.
The Shadow Guard will stop at nothing to revive the Void Lord dimensions, and we should be concerned. My home was sundered by the monster. It's no mystery on how things will end if it's not stopped. However, I have been working on a plan, a contingency really, and it's now time to put it into motion.
We do what we must.
I have been retained by Karesh Trust, a coalition of both broker and ethereal cartels who seek to reclaim Karesh. The trust in this desperate need of one of your skills. Shadowguard assaults on our city and threatens the work of our Ecodome project. Please accompany me.
The Karesh Trust has tasked me with stopping Demencius and defending Tazavesh.
The brokers are from Karesh?
The all-devouring's attack left us refugees. The Shadowlands demanded stronger containment suits than our wraps.
I have completely missed the previous patch with goblins, sadly. It seemed kind of funny, to be honest. think
The all-devouring
I think we have some artifacts.
How? Mencius was slain in the Netherstorm.
But I am not 100% sure.
like the Koreshi people, the all-devouring was merely shattered and dispersed. On every world the Shadow Guard assaulted, they searched for fragments of their master. I have a new ally who revealed the Shadow Guard's methods and treacheries to me. Come, we are on the hunt.
Yeah, those I think are some artifacts, those black lines that we've seen during the cinematic.
Dimensius must be stopped.
Welcome to Tazavesh, both of you. We have much to discuss.
I assume these creatures are the assistance you promised, Lucas Walker. What has gone wrong now?
Locus Walker was brought into the Trust to handle such violent crisis of the Void. He says you are some kind of a hero of champion. Or champion good, we are in need of such a thing. Tazavesh is under a threat from the Void, the Shadow Guard. They threaten the work of the Trust and my reputation as the administrator.
If there are... Oh, this managerial job in Tazavesh has been one crisis after another. I delegate solving these problems to you.
Zalatath is out there, and we do chores?
We must pay the bureaucratic tax if we want free run of the city. We forestall extinction.
Stay a while and listen.
Flesh creatures from off-world be arriving to aid the Trust? Never mind. I'll find the appropriate forms. Best to plan for chaos. Or worse, the Maw Walker to return.
Who are the Trust?
They are a coalition of cartels. Ba, Zai, Zo, and Om, as well as ethereals from the consortium. Tazavesh was acquired by the Trust's founder to act as a supply port and recreation center for the revitalized Project Ecodome.
Our eco-domes are threatened by both the Shadow Guard and the barbarian wastelanders. It is more than Cartel Zo's security can manage. The founder believes that the sinister rival sorcerer Locus Walker can solve this crisis. I am skeptical. The only progress I have noticed is the increase of paperwork on my desk.
My student, Valeria Windrunner, and Azeroth's champion have my full support. I have the founders. I suggest you give them yours.
Very well. I have approved your entry. You have complete access to the city. No need to sneak in or cause trouble.
Did they say Maw Walker? Do they by chance refer to this lady? Is she now a Maw Walker? That's incredibly funny, to be honest. Also, it's been like 4 years and I still haven't hung this up. Nice artwork. It's I think it's an official Blizzard poster I bought back in the Battle for Azeroth expansion, I think.
I need help.
specialist. Help me first.
By the way, maybe because this will be a bit easier for me because I am also seeing this as you are seeing this. Like I am gaming on a stream preview, right? So this will be a bit bigger. And this will be even better for now. Somehow an artifact in the menagerie has broken open, unleashing swarm of furious arcane creatures. They're wreaking havoc, and havoc is bad for Project. I need someone capable of getting this situation under control with no questions asked. Like, it sounds like a typical day at the job. By the way, this is what I mean by the artifacts. I think those are more clearly visible here. I might check this on Windows after I finish the stream, just out of curiosity. But I think those might be related to running stuff on Linux, or maybe to the anti-aliasing. So that lag sucks. It's manageable. I think you also can pretty much see that. I think the way when I speak, the audio is a bit distinct from my video, from my cam. That's because I have completely two separate, like a separate camera and separate microphone connected to OBS. Like it's not like the camera is catching audio, which is probably the reason for that. If you can get down there, clear your way through the creatures and seal that artifact. I'm like, I will make it worth your while by giving you some shitty green items with higher item level. I think that it kind of sucks that, I mean, this is how those games work, but basically, you know, those greens are replacing your epics from previous patch.
The trust will save us.
I am Taka, supplier of rare creatures destined to repopulate my homeland. At least I was until some of them escaped the translocation cages. This cannot stand. These creatures are vital. If you could assist me with capturing them, I would be quite appreciative. Engage them in combat and subdue them. The capture device I've provided will automatically translocate them back to my care once they are on the verge of defeat. Also, about the lag... and streaming, the one little thing I wanted to say is that I actually wanted to just stream, because right now I am streaming from my Mac OS laptop, which like has everything bundled together, and this is why I can reboot this PC no problem, right? But I was thinking of actually starting to stream from the Linux itself, like the playing games part. In the beginning, I was afraid that this might be unstable, like the games might crash, like everything might require full system reboot, and that would, you know, obviously break the stream. And I was afraid of that, but so far it seems like everything is fairly stable. Like the system itself, because, you know, with games obviously it might be different, but we'll see. From what I've like gathered from people on Discord and viewers and I don't know, opinions on the internet, I assume that WoW and Blizzard might be the most volatile app or game to play. So this is why I wanted to give it at least like 20-30 minutes on stream to see for myself. But the plan is to just stream directly from Linux, and then I don't need to, you know, have those problems with this convoluted setup, right? By the way, this is like some very random transmog I have on me. I need to fix that. Oh yeah, obviously I need to fix that. That's because I don't have my favorite helmet. So first of all, let's pick a set, like any set. It can be this one, but I need to have my custom helmet. This is the helmet I'm wearing ever since Warlords of Draenor. The Laughing Skull. Like,
Farewell, friend of the Grammel
acquiring this back in the day was such a pain in the ass because you had to farm a reputation. But I absolutely love it. I love the Laughing Skull tribe. And I love this helmet. Not only it looks cool, also the tribe that was wearing it were absolute lunatics. So to be honest, I think I'm also like playing with fire here, because I do have serious concerns whether Blizzard is banning people for playing WoW on Linux. Like, you know, they might detect that, and their anti-cheat system might be flagging that as something suspicious. So I really would like not to find out whether it's true or not. But I am willing to risk it just a bit. Okay, let's finish this quest, and I think that will do for today. Like I said, this stream wasn't advertised as gaming stream, so I can understand if people tune out.
Let us exchange words. Spend your time wisely.
Exit now. Nice. So, at least for now, it was, I want to say, stable. GPU memory usage, 18 megabytes. So yeah, another semi-resounding success with a lot of failures and things that weren't there, or I wasn't prepared for it in the end. Animations, hello. Hello, sadly we are wrapping up the show slowly. I've pretty much done everything I had planned for today. Oh, actually, no, because I wanted to at least try one more thing. Because like I said, either World of Warcraft or Altars. So I just want to see whether this will fire up on Linux. Yesterday I finished this game. If you are watching right now and you haven't heard about this game, go check it out. It's absolutely amazing. Especially if you are a fan of sci-fi and good storytelling and stuff like that. If you've heard about this game and you are on the verge of buying it, go out and buy it. I would say try to not spoil it for yourself too much. If you want to watch some gameplay, just watch some initial like first hour or something like that. But I would say I highly recommend this game. And I've actually wanted to do like another playthrough just to see how things can turn out. Oh yeah, I also, because today I was afraid that it might take me too much time, but I was thinking of going back to streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. So I might do some quick test streams. Because this is also what I was using my home server for. Like I've used to like do I think on the www VM, because it has Nginx installed, like RSTMP or whatever, stream forking, where I basically was streaming to this VM and that was sending the stream to both Twitch and YouTube. The Alters is great and you can try it in Game Pass if you have one before you buy a copy. Exactly. Like 11-bit like has, I think they've said that they never really expected the games they've released to be successful, and the games they expected to be successful weren't successful. Like with Frostpunk, they kind of thought this will be a small like strategy game and it blew up. And I would say that Alters feels like a smaller Frostpunk, like smaller in terms of you're not administering a city, you're trying to herd like a pack of sheep, like 6 sheep. So it's more like focused on the characters. But it has that Frostpunk feel of building, exploring, upgrading and stuff like that. Why? Well, why ETA 30 minutes? Why? You are installing everything onto NVMe and you have like 1 gigabit internet connection. So like exactly a gigabit. Have the CDNs slowed down. There is a really hilarious talk from CD Projekt Red about the release of Witcher 3 and how they handled the file distribution and how they pretty much killed OVH and other CDN providers. Maybe not launch, but CDN. I don't think I will find this recording right now. It might not even be online at this point. Too bad. No, okay, so if this is gonna take like 30 minutes, then I think I'll just give up for now, and I will come back to this tomorrow when I will do a proper gaming stream. Okay, so I guess I'll do the stream tomorrow at a similar time frame, so probably around 5 or 6 p.m. Central European, maybe. I'll see. Maybe I'll do some tests beforehand, like I said, because I want to maybe go back to dual streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, thank you all for being here today, and I hope I'll see you next time, hopefully tomorrow.